Vet Gaming, quick question. The water at the end of aluminum production, what's the best way to use the XX water? Package it and sink it? No, because then you have to come up with the plastic. So basically, you have two options there. So let me first ask you, do you want to be a tryhard? Do you want the easiest option? Or do you want the try-hard option? Are you the type of guy that wants perfectly both? Okay. Yeah. Are you the type of guy that has perfectly straight line power production buildings? You know, are you gonna be that guy? So the easiest one to explain, give it back to the ocean. The problem is when you burn that way, yeah. You put it in a doggo and launch a doggo off a cliff. You can be. All right, so easiest way is actually really easy. This. Make extra concrete, throw away the concrete. 100 water per minute, that's a lot of extra water that you can burn. This is the easiest way. This would be how, if you were in a time crunch, or if you didn't care about, if you weren't being a try-hard, basically. Leo the Human, so isn't it easier to put it back into the aluminum? That's the try-hard way. The problem is that if you don't do it right, it can cause it can be pretty difficult. I actually did do it. Let me this is actually really important, Vet Gaming. Let's come up, let's take a small detour and let's go look at my setup, okay? I want to show you. I really appreciate questions. The stream would be horribly boring if I just did what I wanted only all the time. I love the questions and I really appreciate the questions, and don't feel like you're, yeah, I just did my aluminum. Well, I would say it was a while ago, and we're going to be doing aluminum again. Not the next factory. The next factory is a power plant, but the factory after that. So here's the aluminum plant. All right, so I'm doing a pure recycle. Okay, so let's take a look at what's actually happening. So look at the blue. Okay. Water comes in. This is my water supply. And it creates a high point. Now, I believe this is either 300 or less, just under 300. You built in the Red Forest, so many spiders there. Yeah, I didn't just build in the Red Forest. I built around the trees. This is a relatively safe area of the Red Forest, by the way. The more north you get, the worse it gets. But yeah, I built around the trees and I built as part of the terrain. Like I have a layered factory here. Sorry, we're gonna stop getting distracted. So here's what's going on. All right, let's take a look. How much water are we making? We're making 120, 48, and 120. All right, so we're making 240 plus 48. 288. What are we eating? 200, 200, 80, 480. So we're eating 480 and we're creating 288. All right, so we're supplying here the difference in that water. If we were to track this all the way over, you would find that I am making only the exact amount of water that we need. At this moment, right here, the flowage in, if you add in this pipe, that pipe, that pipe, and that pipe, is exactly what we need for these three. And then also you see that I was very, very specific in how I did this. I made a high point because we don't want any sloshing. We don't want any back. We don't want any pushback here. And we don't want it to come out here and then push back up there. Water leaves at the lowest point. I've got the lowest point coming down here into our three machines. Okay, so this water and all three of those waters should fill up here first before we do anything. Yeah, this is a backflow preventer, but also so is this. Going down. And then we eat up the water, and as long as the water is from there, and there, all add up to exactly what we are using here, there shouldn't be any issue. Nothing should back up. It's a zero sum at the end, right? No left over. So really, as long as you just prevent backflow, you're fine. And then obviously this is way simpler because I have to bring in less water and I don't have to make concrete and burn it. Now, maybe you need concrete. If you need some extra concrete, well, and you got limestone nearby, good. But this can get tricky. Let's go and see what we set for water over here. I'm curious. In theory, it should be some weird ass like number to add up to exactly what we need over there. Yeah, 96 and 96. Right, so two very weird numbers. But who cares? Right? It's exactly the amount, if you add in the other ones, that adds up to what we want it to add up to. All right? And as long as you prevent temporary backflow, by definition, it can't back up.